Hi, everyone. This is Carmel with the Wealth Creation Channel, the channel where we talk about all things money with the goal of building real wealth. So, today's topic we're going to talk about is celebrity net worth. So I came, across, I'm one of those weird people that love to just, stalk the net worth of just, people all the time, as well as keep up with my own net worth. But nonetheless, there was something that really stood out to me. And the difference was the net worth between Black women and all other racial demographics. So let me explain. You've got your famous celebrities, and we'll stick with celebrities because everybody knows who they are and they pretty much know what they've done. So when you look at the net worth, and basically that's the value of an individual's total assets minus their liabilities. So assets is what's bringing them in money, and liabilities is what's costing them money or spending the money, what they're spending the money on. When you subtract the two, whatever is left over in the assets column becomes the net worth. Sometimes you can have a negative net worth if you have more liabilities than assets. So going back to it, one of the things that struck me was, just like I said, that famous Black female celebrities are far behind everyone else. So just to make my case in point, I'm going to read you out the net worths of a few individuals from each groups. So let's start with, when we're talking about Black and white. I know some people are probably sick of it, but it's usually to make the case in point. So first and foremost, let's start with the white women. So you've got people like Taylor Swift, worth $360 million. Katy Perry, worth $330 million. Miley Cyrus, worth $200 million. Jennifer Aniston, $240 million. Angelina Jolie, $100 million, which, to be honest, I swore it would be a little bit higher. But considering all of the philanthropic work she does, the adoptions and things of that nature, maybe that's why. So Ariana Grande, relatively young and newer, $80 million. Selena Gomez, $60 million. All right. And no offense, but I can't count too many Selena Gomez songs. I know she's very popular. No, I'm not trying to take that away from her. $60 million. All right. Okay. Sandra Bullock, $200 million. Julia Roberts, $140 million. Scarlett Johansson, $140 million. Mila Kunis, $65 million. Kristen Stewart, Twilight, $70 million. So when you look at white women overall, they're doing okay in the wealth category. I think their wealth really aligns with the work that they've been doing, over the years. And of course, they have to find ways to maintain their wealth as well, which we'll get into. All right. Now let's look at white men. OK, so you got Justin Bieber, $265 million. So all that smack people be talking about Justin Bieber, remember that, 265. OK. All right. I date him. All right. You got Ashton Kutcher, $200 million. Tom Cruise, $570 million. All right. Brad Pitt, $300 million. Kevin James from King of Queens, $80 million. Jerry Seinfeld, he's almost a billionaire, $950 million. All right. Robert De Niro, $300 million. Tom Hanks, $350 million. Robert Downey Jr., $300 million. Leonardo DiCaprio, $245 million. For some reason, I expected him to have a little bit more, but that's still a very nice amount. George Clooney, $500 million. Now, is it me, or I don't see him in too many movies, etc., but yet he's at the $500 million, which is, once again, I'm going to bring up the point why I'm stressing this, okay? For anybody who's jumping the gun, of course, I know that their wealth is not tied to their movies, as it should not be, okay? Ryan Reynolds, $75 million, Matt Damon, $170 million. Ben Affleck, $130 million. All right, so white men also killing it in the game. Now let's look at some the Black men. All right, let's look at Jamie Foxx, $100 million. All right, pretty okay. You've got Puff Daddy, $855 million. So he's too almost in the billionaire game. All right. Usher, 180 million. And considering he's been out, hasn't really made consistent music lately, that's pretty darn good, okay? Chris Brown, 50 million. All drama and all. That's still at 50 million. All right? We could get Chris Brown up a little bit more, but 50 million. Will Smith, 300 million. All right. Denzel, 220 million. Samuel L. Jackson, 220 million. Morgan Freeman, 200 million. The man who never ages. All right. Kevin Hart, 150 million. Drake, 150 million. John Legend, 45 million. Kendrick Lamar, 45 million. He's relatively newer to the game, so I'll give him that. And Eddie Murphy, 120 million. So what do I notice? Once again, black men are doing okay, relatively, really, they're doing really well, the celebrities. And so that's, once again, based on how long they've been around, what they've been doing, etc., you find the figures to be somewhat relevant to their ballpark, to what they're worth, their net worth. Now let's look at black woman, all right? Black woman, all right? So you've got, of course, let's throw out there, we've got Beyonce, at, what is it, 400 million. We got Rihanna, at 600 million, who's now the wealthiest entertainer in the world. Yes, the articles keep saying the wealthiest musician, but no, when I look at it, between musicians, actresses, just everybody, any entertainer, models, any entertainer, I keep trying to look up and research. I still keep coming up across and seeing Riri come out at the top with her net worth. So in essence, that's why I just say wealthiest entertainer. She's the wealthiest entertainer female, that is, in the world. Of course, besides Oprah, technically, she's a media mogul, a businessman, a woman first. So is Riri. But Oprah's not really known for doing entertainment. She runs entertainment, if that makes sense. So if we want to make that technicality, then she'll be second. But other than that, pure entertainer, even though Rihanna's not, she would be the first. So the point is, Rihanna's at 600 million. So let's get that out of the way. Now let's go to many of the women. You've got Taraji P. Henson. All those movies she's played in. She's sitting at $16 million net worth. Gabrielle Union, she's been out for a while. Again, another one. All of those movies, those TV shows she's been in. $20 million. Mary J. Blige, the queen of R&B. I mean, who didn't have her album, All right? She's sitting at $20 million. And there's rumors saying that that's not even correct anymore because of the divorce and some other stuff, that she may actually be sitting on a negative net worth. All right? Janet Jackson is pretty good, considering she's been around for a long time. And, she hasn't put out any music lately that I can think of. 175 million. All right? All right? Angela Bassett, another one, 20 million. Regina King, 12 million. Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross' daughter, Girlfriends, Blackish. My girl, I love her. All right? 16 million. Jill Scott, 12 million. Alicia Keys, all right, 70 million. Lauryn Hill, my gosh, 8 million. And yes, I know a lot of people know about her drama and things of that. Who cares? The bottom line is she was once the top of her industry and is now sitting on $8 million. All right? Nicki Minaj is okay, 85 million. Lil' Kim, 18 million. All right? And Halle Berry, once again, hers is okay. It's 80 million. The point that I wanted you guys to see is that if you look at these numbers, you've got a lot of black women celebrities who are who, like I said, were at the top of their industries at one point in time. And it's kind of like interesting to see that their net worths are so significantly behind all the other groups. We're talking about black men, white women, white men. You can't even claim the racial argument because black men are right there on par with the white men when it comes to their wealth. You can't claim the sexism because the white women are on par with the black man and the black woman. And yes, I do understand that black women, tend to have it a lot worse historically in so many areas because they've got the double burden, as some people say, of being both black and female. But this is not accounting for that. I'm sorry. When you've got it that, Gabrielle Union, 20 million, Taraji, 16 million. I mean, come on. They've been in the game for so long and they put out hit after hit after hit after hit after hit consistently. These numbers are, give me 16 million. I'll be happy with it. All right. But for them, that's definitely what, in the book, what's that book called? Millionaire Next Door, they would say is definitely an underaccumulator of wealth. And so the point that I'm bringing out to you guys is to try to make you guys understand that in the end, the reason why all of these people, both black and white, why they're wealthy or not, has nothing to do with, is not only or not even mostly because of the jobs that they're doing. It's being a celebrity. People think that being a celebrity is what's going to make you rich or wealthy. Being an NBA player is going to make you wealthy or rich, etc. No, being a musician or whatever is going to make you wealthy. No, it's not. What you have to understand is that in the end, you're still a high-priced laborer. If at the end of the day, you go home and you have to work for your paycheck to come in, then it doesn't matter if you're the low of the low, working at McDonald's, or the middle of the middle being a teacher, or the upper middle being a tech worker working for Google, or the high-end earner, being the next Angelina Jolie behind a major motion picture. It doesn't matter. In the end, as long as you have to keep getting up and working for your paycheck, you're what you called a laborer. And in the case of the celebrities, they are truthfully high-priced laborers. Musicians, they are high-priced laborers. And so the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand, the reason why I'm bringing this up and reason why I'm bringing up the racial gap that definitely exists, is that I want people to understand that the reason why 9 times out of 10, the white women, the white men, and the black men are doing so successfully it can't be because of the fact that they're just working. It has to be because they're investing their money. There's many. Let's talk about Rihanna once again. The reason why she's now the number one entertainer in the world, of course, behind Oprah, of course, but we can even bring her into it, is why? Because of businesses. All right, Oprah she owns Oxygen. She literally, since the late 80s or early 90s, bought the rights to the Oprah show. So everything went through her. She made Harpo Studios and Productions. She literally, she has ownership. And by doing that, then when people come through her, when movies come through her, when magazines come through her, when shows come through her, she gets a piece of the action. That is why her wealth was able to build so rapidly. Okay. Rihanna, she started her cosmetics line, Fenty, right? And so with that in mind, that is the reason why her net wealth was able to shoot up so significantly. Even Beyonce, I've been stalking her network for probably close to a decade, and she was sitting like 300 million for years. And now her net worth is really starting to shoot up again. And why? Because she realized the importance of ownership. It can't just be about going out and performing and being bad. Like she's an awesome, I am not taking anything away from her, awesome entertainer. But in the end of the day, she realized that in the end, if that wealth is really going to accumulate and to build, she has to start taking ownership of her talent. And that's why she made the deal, like the Netflix deal that she recently did, where the royalties were more important to her than the actual paycheck. And so with this in mind, this is the point that I'm trying to I want people to understand. Obviously, it seems like the black women have not gotten hit to the game about the importance of investing. And it's a shame, too, because you see a lot of the black men know. Will Smith, he has to know. He has to know, despite the fact he's doing so many movies and can command top dollar and things of that nature. The point is he has to be investing to keep that money and maintain that worth. And so with that in mind, Kevin Hart, same thing. He's big. He's big, don't get me wrong, but I'm quite sure that 150 million net worth did not come all from just the shows. He had to have found ways to go ahead and make that money grow for him. And what people have to understand is that this is what you have to do. And it doesn't matter, even if you're working at McDonald's, even if you're in the classroom as a teacher, even if you're have a higher price job working, at Google, or you're a celebrity, you have to find a way to invest. You have to find a way to make money while you sleep. Warren Buffett says this. He says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll be working until you die. And so one of the things I hope you guys understand from this video, that even the wealthy people, Gabby, Taraji, love them, Tracy Ellis Ross, love them to death. But bottom line is they could easily find themselves broke. All right. You could easily find yourself broke if you don't find a way to make the little money that you make and find a way to make it work for you and grow for you on your behalf, which is investing. Then you eventually one day you will run out of that money. And so with that in mind, this just shows that black women, there was an article too that I came across. I said that the wealth of African Americans is expected to be, the net worth of African Americans is expected to be in the negatives by 2053, overall as a people, in the negatives by 2053. And so one of the things that I find most interesting in the article, which technically I already knew, it said that education can't save you. And, when we look at the student loan debt crisis that's affecting people of all communities, all races and groups, and even age groups today because of how bad it is. You're seeing that people are going to college in record numbers, and so many more African Americans are getting educated. I was a teacher for 17 years, and I remember when I first started, most kids in the school district I was teaching it weren't even thinking about college. And year after year, I was seeing more and more and more go till, when I finally retired, I saw most of the kids consistently going to college. So that's an awesome thing. I'm not trying to downplay that, but you have to understand too, then a lot of that carries debt, and a lot of that carries the ignorance without understanding how student loans work and everything else. So to make a long story short, you've got a lot of people getting into a lot of debt, and then you've got, people doing some awesome things, buying these beautiful houses and these beautiful cars and whatever else. But they're working hard for it, and they got these nice jobs which can pay for these things, but yet they don't even have $1,000 saved in their bank account. And the statistics don't lie. There's an article that came out that said that 61% of Americans do not even have $1,000 saved. That's Americans. That's all people, all right, in America. And they said 34% don't even have no savings account at all. They have no savings whatsoever. So this is what I'm trying to let you guys understand, that in the end, obviously, black women did not get the memo that you have to invest. And so with that in mind, Gabby, Taraji, everyone else, I love you, Tracy Ellis Ross, I love you guys dearly. Please, 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 you have to find a way to invest. You have to find a way to make that money grow and work for you. And right now, if you start right now, you can still have a nice, comfortable nest egg. So, and everyone else, you can do that. How do you find ways to make your money to grow? There's many ways, but the three number one ways that I usually like to reference: business ownership, 1. 2 is investing in stocks, and 3, real estate. When you look at it all over the period, almost every millionaire and billionaire, multimillionaire, And billionaire, we're not including the worth of your home, okay? Every multimillionaire and billionaire you can think of, it's usually because they've been involved in a combination of any of the three: real estate, stocks, and business ownership. So with that said and done, please, no matter what income level you're on right now, if you truly want to be wealthy, you have to invest. If, like my mom used to say, if you got $1, you better invest that 50. Well, she didn't say invest. She said save that 50 cents. I'm telling you, invest that 50 cents. All right. If you got $500, invest that $250. All right. Hey, even if you invest 100 of the 500, that's better than nothing. Investing is the key to building wealth. And with that in mind, that's it. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like the video. It helps with the algorithms. And make sure to leave a comment as well. I love to read through them and discuss with you. Also, make sure that you share the video with anyone else that you think could benefit from this video and you also want to see win. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care.